I was pouring my morning coffee, the kind that's black as tar and strong enough to wake a coma patient, when a grinding roar tore through the quiet. At first, I figured it was just a tractor rumbling down the county road, but something about the sound felt wrong, too close, too size. I stepped to the window, mug in hand, and my gut sank like a stone. A yellow bulldozer was ripping through my cornfield, snapping stalks like they were toothpicks. And there, standing behind it, arms crossed like she owned the world, was Linda Carver, HOA queen, neighborhood tyrant, and the woman who once fined me $50 for a mailbox she called too rustic. I bolted outside, boots half-laced, heart hammering. Linda didn't even blink as I stormed up, shouting over the engine's growl, demanding to know what the hell she thought she was doing. She just smirked, waved a rolled-up permit like it was a royal decree, and yelled back that the HOA had unanimously decided to turn my wasted land into a parking lot for wine tastings and card nights. I told her, voice shaking, that this was saw land, not HOA property. She laughed a sharp, condescending bark and pointed at my no trespassing signs, calling them outdated and probably unenforceable. Then she turned, sauntered to her gleaming BMW, and drove off, Leah VYing me in a cloud of dust and diesel fumes as the bulldozer chewed through 20 yards of my crop. That field wasn't just dirt and corn. It was my dad's legacy, planted by his calloused hands decades ago. More than that, it was a secret I'd kept from everyone, neighbors, friends, even my own sister. Years back, I'd signed a quiet lease with Homeland Security. They needed a remote patch for fiber lines and satellite sync, and my unassuming cornfield was the perfect cover. Hidden in plain sight, it was a camouflage masterpiece. I'd sworn an oath to keep it secret, and I had until Linda's bulldozer came too close to unearthing something she'd never understand. When the machine finally stopped, a third of my field was gone. I walked the wreckage, boots kicking up broken stalks, my eyes tracing the faint lines in the dirt where underground conduits ran. They were untouched, but barely. Too close for comfort. Back inside, I grabbed my phone, punched in a number I'd memorized years ago, and spoke 3 words into the receiver. "They're digging here." The line went silent. Then a voice promised someone would be there within the hour. True to their word, 2 black SUVs rolled up just after lunch. No sirens, no uniforms, just men in dark jackets with sharp eyes that seemed to catalog every blade of grass. I handed over a copy of Linda's permit, and one of them, tablet in hand, scanned it without a word. Another swept the ground with it, a VYC that flashed red and green. When I asked if they'd confront her, the older agent gave a thin smile. "Not yet. Let her think she owns it." That's when I knew this wasn't just about stopping her. They were going to let her arrogance bury her. That evening, Linda's new gravel lot hosted its first HOA event, a wine and cheese shindig with folding chairs and smug chatter. She strutted across the uneven ground, directing people like a traffic cop, even while VYing at me like we were pals. I waved back, my smile colder than a January wind. As they clinked glasses, toasting her cyanary leadership, I sat on my porch, picturing the conduits beneath their feet, the unmarked access hatch just yards from their snack table. They had no clue. Not Linda, not her loyal HOA minions, not the guy spilling Chardonnay on his polo shirt. The next morning, the air felt heavy, like a storm was brewing without clouds. Another SUV arrived, this time with a woman in a Navy suit, Agent Larson. No pleasantries. She walked the property with me, asking pointed questions. Who authorized the bulldozers? How close did they get to the conduits? Did Linda know what was under there? I told her the truth. I saw the permit. Linda was in charge, and she had no idea what she'd touched. At the northwest corner, Larson scanned a dummy irrigation valve hiding an access hatch. Heard a VYC beep 3 times, and her eyes locked on mine. "You know what's running under here?" she asked. I admitted I had clearance to sign the lease and report breaches, but not to know the full scope. She nodded, then dropped a bomb. Linda's parking lot had disrupted a surveillance node, potentially compromising real-time intelligence feeds. This wasn't just about corn anymore. Neighbors started noticing the federal presence. Whispers spread, dropped cell signals, glitchy Wi-Fi, smart doorbells showing blank screens. One guy, Tom, a tech nerd who rarely left his basement, asked if my internet was acting up. I shrugged, hiding a smirk. Maybe someone dug where they shouldn't have. By sundown, HOA members were poking around the lot, looking uneasy. Linda stayed away, probably plotting her next move. But the Fed were circling, and she didn't even know it. Things unraveled fast. Homeland agents returned, snapping photos, measuring distances. A small crowd gathered, tossing around theories buried contraband, environmental violations. Linda stormed in, purled. The HOA group chat blew up. Screenshots of Linda's emails surfaced, revealing she'd lied about a vote. Neighbors turned on her, furious. At an emergency meeting, Ellen, a sharp-eyed HOA founder, held up a permit with mismatched dates. Tom showed an email chain pro-VYing no vote had happened. Then Ellen played security footage. Linda, clear as day, GIVYing a thumbs up as the bulldozer tore into my field. The room went quiet. A board member moved to suspend her. No one objected. Linda sat, deflated, as the board froze all HOA active VY ties and closed the lot. I dug deeper, sensing Linda's overreach wasn't new. County records showed a pattern. A picnic ground 5 years ago, taken from a man named George who'd fought her and lost. I called him, and he spilled everything: Linda's backdoor zoning tricks, her county office connections. At the clerk's office, I found 3 permits tied to her, 2 altered, 1 forged. This wasn't a mistake. It was her playbook. Then Linda showed up at my door, sunglasses on, a gift basket in hand. She called it a misunderstanding, hinted at fixing things with her friends if I played ball. I tapped my phone, recording every word. Her face froze when she realized. She left without another word. I sent the recording, my timeline, and the county records to Agent Larson. Her reply was curt, "We'll take it from here." The lot was soon taped off with red federal banners. The HOA distanced itself, launching an audit. Linda's house went dark, her car hidden in the garage. Neighbors apologized, and Homeland restored the field, upgrading security with sensors disguised as weather monitors. They offered a new lease higher pay, priority access. I signed without hesitation. Weeks later, a quiet gathering marked the field's restoration. No press, just agents, neighbors like Tom and Ellen, and lemonade. Linda was gone, her house for sale, her name erased from HOA records. A federal letter confirmed charges against her. Infrastructure damage, attempted bribery. Justice didn't need a courtroom. It was already done. Standing in my field, watching new corn sprout, I felt peace, not VY Tory, just the quiet of storm past. Linda thought she could pave over my roots, but she'd crossed a line deeper than she'd ever know. Sometimes you don't fight with fists. You just stand your ground and let the truth do the heavy lifting. Now, what do you think? Was Linda just a power-hungry neighbor, or did she know more than she let on? Should I have pushed harder for public justice, or was letting her unravel enough? And what would you do if someone tried to take what's yours? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories where the little guy stands tall.